Hello, welcome to this week's art class, Greenfielders. You all did a great job with the OK Go scavenger hunt. This week we're going to get started with some actual art making. I bet you're ready to find out what your theme is. After checking my notes here, I see that for the first week, we are going to focus on something very interesting. We are going to focus on the idea of the self. Now I'm guessing you might be thinking, what does Miss Mallory mean by the self? Well, the self means you. Kind of like taking a picture of just you, like a selfie. Ah, the selfie. Raise your hand if you have ever taken a selfie of yourself. Of course you have. And really, middle schoolers, let's be honest, probably have hundreds or thousands of selfies on their devices right now. Now, with so many selfies floating around out there in the year 2020, you may not realize that the idea of taking a picture of yourself or painting a picture of yourself has been around for hundreds of years in the art world. For our first assignment, all of the activities I have curated are about the self. Curate is a verb that means to choose a special group of things. Yes, thank you for clarifying that, Alfie. Anyways, all of the activities I have curated for you have to do with this idea of the self, a self-portrait, the idea of you. And I figure it's a pretty good topic to explore since we've all had a lot of time to spend with ourselves lately. So first, before we get into the making part of assignment number 1, I need you to understand the history of artists using themselves as the subject of their art. Artists have been doing that for a long time, and I found a great video by an art historian named Artrageous Nate. This video is going to give you a background of how portraits have evolved or changed throughout history. Before you ever start any art project, it's always good to start with some research and figure out what has been done before. Because I don't know if you know this, but every single artist that has existed, from Picasso to Frida Kahlo to Salvador Dali to contemporary artists working today, we have all started with making self-portraits. The fact of the matter is sometimes you just can't get someone to sit for a long time and pose for you completely still. And as long as you have a mirror, you can sit there and study the different parts of the way your face looks, how your body is positioned. Sometimes you're your own best model. But most of all, artists, self-portraits are a great way to figure out who you are as a human. It gives you lots of time to think about who you are as an individual, what you want to say about yourself, and what you hope you look like to the people around you. And that's a really important thing to think about. What's more interesting to think about than you? So without further ado, let's explore your choices for this week. So if you look to the right on the slide you're on now, you'll see that there's a menu that looks like this. It has 5 options, 1 for drawing, 1 for painting, 1 for sculpture, 1 for digital art, and 1 for photography. For option number 1, I'm going to ask you to use the materials you have at home to draw a portrait of yourself in your favorite part of your home. You can draw in your own style, or you can follow along with a video I've created by clicking this link right here. And that'll take you to a YouTube video. So this is my teacher example. I started out by having a family member take a photo. I can't find that photo right now, but I do want you to know I did work from a photo. And this is a portrait I did in pencil. You can probably guess that it was done in pencil, of me with my new baby daughter, Phoebe Lee. Now, I chose this spot of the house because the sofa's comfy. This is where we like to go when Phoebe Lee and I just need to get away and have some peace and quiet. And I like that there's photos back here on this piece of furniture of my family that I can look at. It's a very peaceful spot. So like I said, I worked from a photo. I started with simple shapes and lines. And then the longer I worked on it, I just started building up shadows and value. Option number 2 is a painting option. And for this, I'm going to ask you to imagine you could go anywhere in the world. You can leave your house and go anywhere you want. Using materials you have at home, I want you to paint a portrait of yourself in a new place. Here's an example from a painter called Amy Sherald. She actually became famous for painting First Lady Michelle Obama's portrait. But in this painting, I liked it because it takes me away. The colors she used makes me actually feel like I'm on a beach, and she has some portraits there. So for any of the artists you want to find out more about, I did link them. So just click on the hot pink hyperlinks and you can find out more and get more inspiration. So that's option number 2. Option number 3 for completing the assignment is for all my builders and sculptors out there. I want you to go around your house and look for different found objects that you could use to make a sculpture of you. The inspiration for this activity comes from a Swiss artist named Till Konecker, and he made this self-portrait out of objects he had in his artist studio. Pretty cool, huh? What materials do you have laying around your house that you could use to build a self-portrait? Now, for this one, make sure you ask permission from your family before you begin to make sure what you decide to build with is safe. You could also use Legos or blocks, tinfoil. The options are pretty much limitless, so I'm excited to see what you could do if you choose this option. Option number 4 is for my more advanced artists, maybe middle school, or really anyone who would like to learn how to make art that's digital or on your computer. For this option, I'd like you to follow the link I have listed there on the menu board and follow the directions in the tutorial to make a Google vector drawing of yourself. This option uses Google Drawing, which is free. Oh yeah! And here's my teacher example. I had so much fun making this. You can see I used this photograph of myself, and in probably 15 minutes, I was able to make this really cool digital kind of collage of myself that I'm thinking of using for my new profile picture. Oh, and I just want to say that the artist who's giving the tutorial, she says that you need to have a computer mouse, but I ended up using this little actual laptop mouse, and I was able to complete it. So don't be discouraged if you get to that part of the tutorial. It is possible to complete on a laptop mouse. So digital artist, this one's for you. The final option, number 5, is a photography and writing activity. It involves taking a photo of yourself and answering just 2 simple questions for me. You can use the delayed timer on your phone or ask a reliable family member to help you. Now, before I leave you, I want to remind you, do quality work. Take your time. Show that you care in whatever it is you create. And try to knock my socks off. I am looking for creativity. In this time while we're all working from home, we can still be creative, and I look forward to sharing some of the most fantastic designs on our Instagram. If you haven't checked out our Instagram yet, it's omg.amg.art, and I'll be looking for your finished projects in assignment number 2 folder. So good luck, happy creating, and until next time, au revoir.